Hello. How's everybody doing? How's it going? Thank you for the look, Mr. Maxwell. I'm good. Good, I'm glad you're good. Sorry, I know it's a bit dark, but once that TV turns on, reflection. So, yeah. Ugh. Like I said, fucking hell. Imagine how bad it is for you. A lot reflects back off my skin. Right. I'm melting the no. I'm gonna have to get the big fan out of the shed. I'm literally gonna die. Ooh, did I turn on streamer bot? Fuck off. I'm not going to hang about on this screen for too long because we've got a game to get to. And I'll get too into this song. I'll probably start like... Yeah, no. Let's not do that. That's an adorable emote. Hello. How are you? That is quite an adorable emote. Welcome in. Oh, ow. Oops. Right. Should we get some of these out the way? No, because I can't type. Look at that little blanket. What on earth is that emote? Oh, that's exactly what I thought it looked like.
Mix.
That's Scott's then! It's one of his!
I don't think I made that one, so I can't be blamed for that. I've not seen that one before. Would you prefer to be called Mushy or Lizard? I suppose you could be out, wouldn't be called 58, 57 if you want. 87, not 57. I know what I meant. Shut up. I don't know. I don't know what that was. I didn't make that one. That was someone else. Mushy is good. Hope you're having a good day. I am. I hope you're having a good day. Or night, depending on your time zone. Gonna pet the pig.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Ow!
Tina, he is not happy.
Wow!
3:10 p.m. there. Oh! Well, I hope you're having a good day then. Right. Do you stream? By any chance? Or are you just a viewer? Right, before we do that task, I need to increase something. I don't know if it's going to be me weapon or what, but something needs to be increased. Because that bloody emo bird happened in my life. And I refuse to go through it again. Me, you. Because I'm pretty sure the armor we've got on ain't too bad. The headpiece might need some work, but outside of that, not too bad. I think it might be the weapon that needs a bit of a boost. Sure thing. Oh, do I have any of them? I do! Oh, I don't have many. Oh, that maxes it out at least. Oh, but... damn it. Okay, I can max out 2 pieces of armor. What's the other bit that I should max out, do you think? The belt. They do stream. Oh, we'll give them a shouty. Thank you, darling. Oh, yeah, we need the
How
hands.
about Princess Kenny? Show him her boobies.
Well,
I'm coming for you, baby. Oh my god. Jesus Christ, man. We love it though. We love.
that's fantastic. I approve that clip. Where's the rest of it? And what do I need to get the I forgot about the arms. What do I need to get the arms? Everyone loves boobies. I mean, even I appreciate chesticles. Do we have any decorations that we can use? Let's have a look. Don't have many decorations. I might have to do a bunch of optionals and get some. I mean, that would probably be handy for me, not gonna lie. Tiptoe. Slightly easier to lose sight. Meowst. So, I've got Bella. I've had to pull her words. Beanbag. I've got a massive beanbag. And I've had to pull that right next to my chair. And then put a donut bed on top because she's got one of them massive, like, you know, the ones where it's like, this will help your animal with anxiety. It might with some, but it won't with her. She's a special breed of anxiety. But that's on top, so she now has an elevated, super, like, enclosing, cuddly bed. And she's lying in it, facing us, giving us puppy dog eyes from said bed. It's my own fault. Spoil it too much as a pup. And now she's obsessed with me. Right, Meowsters. Increases Palico's attack power and defense. Ooh. I'll put that on for now because I need something. Put on 2 of them. Oh. Allows you to gather extra from a bone pile and special item gathering points. Why the fuck not? Don't really need the other 2, so... And I don't think we can make any. What layer have we got? Nope. Ooh, I can make it though. Oh, it's a full armor set. I thought it was layered. I don't want it. It's fine. Okay. Skill info. Reduce the stamina depletion. Power prolonger. Wow, I need to go collecting a lot of shit. That might be just what I do today, you know. Bombardier. Explosive power. Marathon. Reduces continuous stamina consumption. Special. No. There is one that I can make. I don't know if I've unlocked it yet. I might have to do some optionals to do it. Where you can get, like... It gives you a really high percentage of any time you shoot a bullet. Or an arrow, but mainly a bullet. It won't register it as being used. Or it'll give you one in return. And that's very handy. Very handy. I feel like I'm a little... Is this a little bit dark? It seems a little dark in this room. Gonna pop in on Batwell before I need to get ready for work. Smell you later. No problem, my lovely. Thank you for being here. Please say hello to Mr. Batwell. I'll load him up on my phone, actually. I forgot. I was waiting for it to pop and be like, Maxwell, it's streaming. That's exactly what my phone sounds like. No. 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 There you are. Ooh, turn the volume down. Jesus. Dot, 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 dot. There you go. Done. But yeah, it seems dark to me in here. Is it dark on the screen? Why dark? Not when this kicks in. Never mind. Shut up. Okay, so. Moving on. Right. Didn't check to see what I fucking needed for the arms, man.
No problem.
Oh, stop it. Nope, not upgrade. Not upgrade. Oh! I mean, that is kind of cute. This creature may annoy the absolute shit out of us, but that's quite a cute little outfit. I prefer that version. Can I make the gloves? Yes.
Give her!
Looks like a winter version of the hippie outfit. Little bit. I feel like that's what someone would wear to an emo rave. But a cool one, maybe. Oh. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Well, at least I got the full outfit now. The flared trousers and stuff. I don't know if we actually have an outfit that looks like that in general. Ooh. It's a choice. Oh. Like that. Pretty sure you can get an emo version of that as well. Sure, look. Oh yeah, here you go. Fetching. Palico. Right, for Palico, I want the rest of this. I love that. Nothing else matters except that. That's it. Okay, I'll kind of have a look. Oh, it's exactly the same. No. Very emo. Just need some Hawthorne heights in the background. Yes, you do. Right, okay, so we're gonna do optionals. So I can unlock more gems and stuff, because that's terrible. I'm thirsty. I know I didn't need to voice that, but I did. So, you're welcome. Nearly smashed stuff. Right. Oh wow, I've not done like any optional. Well, I've done like a couple. Let's win 2 of them. We'll get through these, no bother. This is what we're doing today. We're being nice and chill. We're just gonna go through optionals so I can get some shit. I love that dress so much. The emo catchphrase. I don't know if I've listened to them, you know. I was more gothy than emo, I think. Until my lady is. Excuse me. I'll have a listen. I mean, I do like it in red. I'm already pink. Oh, bitch. Bit much. Green. Do you want green? What kind of green are we thinking? Like your cyber green? Or are you wanting like more emerald? Or what are we thinking? Excuse me, I was not done. Bitch. Dark green doesn't quite work, does it? That good? I don't like going green. We'll go green. Ta-da! My mom's favorite color is green. But like a rich emerald green is our favorite shade. Okay. Change equipment. Don't want the gun. I want some slashy. What are those? What are what? What do you mean? What are those? What are who? What are what? I'm confused. The shoes. Oh yeah, I know. Let's not talk about the shoes. We don't. Oh god. We don't need to talk about the shoes, okay? Personally, I would have put a stiletto with that. But that's just me. I think they're the best ones I've got. Considering I only have one page, I'm going to say it. Love, love, love. Hello, Mr. Circus. How are you? Do you want dragon resistance? Capacity boost. What's that? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll keep that. Not very practical for monster hunting, though, I suppose. Well, in a game, right, these characters can do amazing things in stilettos just because in real life you would die at the thought of it. It's a game. Live a little. It's fine. Your voice is lovely to have in the background. Oh, thank you. Why does everybody like my voice? It's weird. Oh, we need to get you some clips. Yes, we do. I will look. Thank you very much. I've still got yours up on my laptop. Right. Glider. Gilly. No, we're fine with what we've got. I should really upgrade that. I don't know if I can. Can I upgrade that? Should we see?
No problem.
Is that meant to be a Scottish accent? Good God. I wonder how many Scottish people heard that. I'm like, what the fuck? Right. Yeah, I need to sort that out. That's terrible. No, I can't upgrade it. What do I need to upgrade it? That's not even the one I want to upgrade. Can't upgrade it anyway. Fine. Didn't want it. I don't need to check my item box because this is going to be very, very quick. Shut up. Let's go. Excuse me. Choke myself. God. No. Right, let's go. Should have a meal. Should probably have a meal. Pay with money. Yeah. I like it in green. It's good. It jumped deer. Thank you. Ooh, happy Valentine's Day to everybody under that rope there. Alright, ballista ammo. Oh, I didn't bring nothing. Oh dear. Let's hope I don't need a heal. Where is it? Right. Very Jade Empire. It is, isn't it? I like it. Off we get. Oh, no, wrong game. I just went to aim like you do in Monster Hunter Wilds. My bad. Oh, I'm poisoned. Well, I've got nothing for it, so we'll just have to fight on her. Even the cat's not bothered. So Peter Bob is just like, you're fine. It's a low level, you're fine. Oh, there goes its tail. Look, it'll be over in a second. Don't worry, my dude. You'll be fine. I mean, you won't be fine. You'll be dead. But it'll be over soon. See? Like I said, I can be cocky. This is a very low level. Get him, Daddy! Oh, I did. Need to remind myself it's low level though, because if this is going to happen obviously until I get to the high level, and I'll have that level of cockiness and die. Are you going to peel the tail? Really? It's not going to let me get the tail because the bird's dead on top of it? Fine. I know, but I can't get it because the stupid bird's in the way. That's just rude. I was gonna say, is there a way to speed up? I don't think there's a way to speed up the timer either. Nope. Just twiddle with thumbs there. Right. Is everyone having a good Thursday? Have you had a good day? Okay, no problem. Dead thirsty. Well, that was an unnecessary noise, Mr. Water Bottle.
One subspecies left to investigate. Just leave records and analysis to me.
I will. I'm not going to investigate them yet. Right, research centre.
Splendid.
Splendid. So far my Thursday is very good, thank you. Good, I am glad. Is it warm over where you are? It's very warm here today. Apparently we're having a heat wave. Oh. Right, so 180, 180, 350, 400. 350. 250. They're all hunt. 2 captures, 4 hunts. I think we can do that. Ooh. Am I being a self-centered arsehole if I say many people like my voice too? No, you're not. You're being... We've got ads in about 40 seconds, just so you know as well. But you're just being truthful. You do have a very soothing voice. You sound very relaxing. Even when you're annoyed about things, you just sound very soothing. I understand. Well, can I not hand that in? Oh, no, because I haven't done it. I think because you hear your own voice all the time, you never really appreciate how it sounds, because I don't get why people like mine, but apparently they do. And it's like, yay! You are very welcome. Ads will be starting in the next 10 seconds for anyone that gets them, just so you know. Registered, not registered. Well, I don't need any of them. Complete deliveries, that's what I wanted. I have nothing. Okay. Well, at least we spoke to these. So, next. You got anything for us? Not enough yet. Nope. Argosy's not back, so there's no point for that. I did see a tail raider thing, though. Bella, what are you lying down there for? Hmm? I love this room. It's all peaceful. I think we should swap his weapon over. Because he's level 15 with the spray. So should we do... I mean, Plunder Blades is good. What one should we do? Plunder Blade, Shield, where they basically try and be a little tank, and it's really cute watching a Palico try and be a tank. Flashfly. Again, handy. Oh, look at that. He's just so adorable. Cuteness aggression is real. I'm going to do Plunder Blade first, I think. Why did I come in here? Oh, yeah. I totally forgot. Right. Tail Raider Safari. Ooh, we got some good shit. Nice. Tail Raider Safari. Deploy. So, we've got good research, good hunting, or good gathering. Gathering's probably better. I like how I picked good gatherers and most of them are just hunted. I mean, that one's not too bad. Should do that one. See what they get. I really love that dress. I do.
One subspecies left to investigate.
Yes,
Just
I know,
leave
I
records
know.
and analysis to me.
I'm gonna, because I've already told you I'm not doing it yet. I sometimes wish you could turn that off. But sometimes it comes in handy. Like when you completely forget what you're meant to be doing, which I do a lot. I know, shocking information, right? Right, more optionals. We've got one more left and it's a Barrath. Manage items. I should probably at least take a potion. Off we go! Welcome back from the ads, everyone that had them. I appreciate you for sticking around. I'd appreciate it if you didn't. But I appreciate you a little bit more if you do. Don't tell the other people I said that. It's a secret. Don't want them to get jealous. Right. Let's go. I need to remember to stop sitting like a prawn. Bad, bad, bad. Already have a bad spine. Don't need it. Don't need any more issues, do I? Not really. Right, a Barrath. I should probably go this way. Oh, hello. I don't need to follow the trail. It's in an arena. Oh, hello. You okay there, buddy? Come on. You can do it. Come on. Good boy. Whee! Have it. Really, really. Oh. It took it now. Thank you. It took another nap. Oh, that counted as hunting a nice. I didn't think that would count in the research thing. Nice. Should we go fill up a cannon? Just seeing as we've got 40 seconds to kill. Roly-poly. With the cannonball. I feel like that's a flex. You know what I mean? Woman is carrying a cannonball and she's just casually like, yeah. Could I do that? No, motherfucker. Pew pew. Back. Welcome back. Took your time. I'm joking. Do do do. Right. So. Next level of optionals. Because a lot of your optional quests that you do, even the lower level ones, you'll unlock certain things. And because I basically somewhat kind of like speedran, I suppose, through this game to get Iceborne by not doing any of the optionals. I mean, for God's sake, we had level 1 gear on when we were Master Rank 4.
One subspecies left
Never
to
gonna forgive
investigate.
myself for that
Just
one.
leave records and analysis to me.
Ooh, the Argosy's back. So there's lots of like little things
something else.
that I haven't unlocked that are now quite handy. Thank you. Thank you. Ta-ra. Sell from item box, all trading. Ta-ra. Okay, so what's the next one? Oh, what's a pain in the arse? I mean, I'll do it, but it's a pain in the arse. Yes, that one. Oh wait, that might have been the wrong camp to start at. Fuck. Oh well, done now. Nope. For this. Hi, Ace. How are you? He did. He did. He did. Maxwell took you second. Too slow. I'm mad now. Oh no. Don't be mad. You're always meant to be like, A-okay. Better than everyone.
This is why people... I didn't notice his face until now. I didn't know his face was upside down until now.
I love that game.
Why does everything look so weird? I don't get it.
Aww. Oh, bless you, pal. Over some footballer being nice to a kid, I'm too fucking soft now. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit soft, okay? Do not take that out of context at all. If it gets clipped, I'm deleting it. Food. Oh, I'm getting on. No! Oh, it begins. That's because I've been outside in the sun. You fucking 10-ply, bud. I don't understand that. I feel like it's because I'm female. It won't be because I'm female, because I just like... Because I'm me. Right. 5 and eggs are actually... Is it that one I want? Or is it that one I want? Let me try that one. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. 2-ply toilet paper is supposed to be soft on the ass, which would make 10-ply like wiping with a silk quilt. Ooh, okay. He's all silky. Where's the straw? I've sent it to you. Tell us if I'm being too soft or not. Obviously not yet. You might just be having a bit of an emotional day. That's okay, you know. Calling someone impossibly soft. I will adopt that into my vocabulary. It's okay to be a bit soft sometimes. And everybody loves some silky smooth. Ooh. That went well. Okay, so. Gotta say it all Canadian. Canadian? Canadian. Canadian though, eh? Now my brain's trying to figure out how to say it. Obviously I know how it'll sound in Canadian, but to actually make myself sound Canadian, not as easy. I can hear you saying it in my head. I know you're not Canadian, but I can hear you saying it in my head. A Chinese dress in the jungle. Not appropriate attire for the occasion, isn't it? But it looks so pretty. And I mean, the shoes are at least somewhat appropriate. I would have put stilettos with it. And hello, Ollie, how are you? Nice to see you. So go this way first. So basically we're stealing Rathian eggs. Brilliant idea, I know. And we're No, I didn't want to do that yet! Fuck! Put down! How do I put down? Put down. Stupid ass. I mean, granted it was me, I pressed the wrong button. Right. Oh, the slurping, man. There's no need. Now, if you run out of stamina, you drop it. Hence, chugging the monster. Whee! Fucking meow. Anyway, as it was. Don't you dare drop that egg, I swear. Right, I think we go... yeah, we go this way. But the danger of getting tangled up on branches and getting all torn up isn't very cost efficient, is it? I mean, it's not. If I were hunting monsters, I definitely would not wear that dress to do so. But seeing as we're using... oh no, I'm gonna drop there. Seeing as we're using video game dynamics, I would 100% wear that with stilettos because it never gets torn and you never fall over in the stilettos and the heel never snaps or anything. It's fabulous. Okay, so now we can just leisurely stroll because that was its mother. It's anime. Clothes don't rip unless you get punched into a building. This is true, and even then sometimes it doesn't rip. And the fan service demands it. There's that too, yeah. Like, the character will have just been fucking whooped like Loki and the Hulk when he just fucking... yes, that is the exact noise that it made. And there will be no damage to the clothing. But then all of a sudden it'll be like, oh my god, the character buffed up. And their shirt will just explode like Wolverine in Deadpool. I did not complain at that scene at all. Brilliantly written. What is this hentai stuff you're talking about? Oh, no ta. I only ever heard of off-brand. I mean, to each their own, but tentacles? And I read fantasy stuff, and nota. The good kind of anime. Oh, whoops. I went past the delivery point. Now we gotta do it again. Get bonked trying, mate. Trying. Whee! Oh, now you grab it. Okay. No, not that way. Angry Mother's still out that way. Like, the ones with centaurs in are really crazy. Yeah, I've heard. I don't read them ones. Well, I haven't yet. I'm curious. But I know I'll spend the entire time reading it going. Because we listen and we don't judge, but my face did not get that memo. My face will judge the shit out of you. Even if I'm not. It's got its own separate thing going on. Never know if you're going to take the man or the horse. That is true. It makes you learn things about yourself, doesn't it? Come on, because when that dragon fucking lands, I want to be out here. It landed. It landed. Slide, bitch. Slide. Your life depends on it. Ah! Let me tell you something. You fuck. Fuck. And I'm poisoned. Fuck. Oh, I love those cats. They're awesome. Now I have to fly up here. Bonk you with a squeaky hammer. A lot. That's fair. That is fair. I accept my fate. Right, so we heal first. They're so cute. Right, I'm probably going to drop it again. Look at the dead pools. Where's Cyber? Cyber, look at the dead pools. Cyber has Deadpool emotes as well. They're very cute. Right, is it still here? Stamina's not going down, so it might be okay. Hello? I think Griffin just answered me. Oh, shit. Gotta move on, bitch. Yeah, fine. Ooh, an early not fine. Damn! Yeah. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. Can't you just kill the Rathian? I mean, I could, but it's just easier to do this. Just. Well, it's a low level. This is a low level mission, so it wouldn't take us as long to kill the Rathian because we're technically master rank now. But it's just easier to get it out of the way with like this. Once I'm in this bit, it can't get us anyway. And once I've dropped this egg off, we're done. And I think this gives us more meal options, I think. Oh, fuck my life. I thought I dropped it. I would be so mad. So mad if we got all the way to this point and I dropped the fucking egg. I wouldn't even be surprised, though. There we go. See? Boom. Done. Master Hunter. Still wearing city attire. Honestly, we got all the way through the first part of Worlds. We were in, I think it was the second hunt of Iceborne. And only then did I realise we were wearing the same fucking armour that we loaded into the game with. Do you know why I didn't realise? Because I put layered armour over the top of it. So I didn't realise. We were still in the, like, tutorial level armour. Not gonna lie though, kind of impressed at the amount of... I mean, yes, I died a fair few times towards the end of the game, but kind of impressed we didn't die more. Because we were literally wearing floss. Wet paper bag would have gave us more protection. That cat's just so cute. I like cats. They're good. 0 damage run when? Oh, never. Have you seen my gameplay? 0 damage run? That dress would have been more armor. Yeah, exactly. Being buck-ass fucking naked would have been more armor than what we had on. But we still made it through. Fuck yeah. The microphone's a bit high. Okay.
One subspecies left to investigate. Just leave records and analysis to me.
I keep running all the way along that. Let me run around in a loincloth. What do you mean? Hey, you want to go Tarzan? You go Tarzan. You do, you. Crystal, hello, my love. How are you? How's it going? Oh, I'm not in the typing box. Rookie mistake.
Thought the name was just names. Like, I did not think that Dragon Piercer actually pierce. I thought it's just like a cool name that they
Sorry, I probably did the same thing as well. I'm well, thanks for asking. Good, I'm glad you're well. How are you? I am not too bad, thank you. Not bad. I was melting before. Had to take the cat to the vet because she's been breathing funny and she's old, so I was like, oh my god. Very, very nervous. Very nervous I was. But I was like, the vet's only about a 15-minute walk from the house. So I was like, oh, I'll just take her down. Because the time that the appointment was, it would have been easier just taking her down. And she's only a little cat. So I've got the backpack carriers, but I have to put it on my front or they kick off. Walking to a vet, it's only a 15-minute walk. Walking there, carrying a cat. The heat. Good God. Melting, melting. Oh, what a world. Winston is just... That's my news. That's some news. That is some news. I was so shocked. It happens. So what is Winston? Is Winston a cat or a... Rather put the cat boy on my transport bike and paddle there. If I had another means of transportation, I would have took it. But I was just like, I could wait for a bus. But then the bus is going to be full of people and they're all going to be, oh, look at the cat. And me and the cat don't like people. Our doggo is Winston. Cat is Bunger. Yeah, my dog tries to do that as well. Had to get one of them litter trays with the door on because she then, as much as the door opens, she's not quite smart enough to figure that out. Which I appreciate because she used to have this knack of going to do it and then going to try and lick your face and you're just like, oh, fuck no. Nuh-uh. Get yourself a longboard. I mean, it'd be easier if I just got a car, really. Make my life easier. What did I even just agree to do on this quest thing? He doesn't even honour or carrot, but cat poop. Right? My dog's the same. Exactly the same. Bizarre creatures. Cats are overrated. Oh, I love cats. I love them. I mean, I love dogs, but I'm definitely more a cat person than a dog person. It's okay, she's asleep. She didn't hear us. Yeah, she didn't hear us. Oh, ha, sorry. Cars are overrated. I mean, yes and no. I would appreciate a car because there are places I need to go. And a car would make that easier. I also read it wrong. Yeah, I just saw cat straight away. Sorry, Ollie. At least I'm not the only one. I was gonna end up getting a motorbike, but then with me back injury, it's not exactly ideal anymore, which I'm gutted about. I apologise for screaming at you. Ah. Is that really for the screaming? Or really for the idea that I was going to get a bike? Oh, slay shamos. Okay, that's fine. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm used to getting my name read wrong. But that, the screaming. Used to getting your name read wrong. I just read your name's Oil. Apparently a lot of people do that. I remember you saying a lot of people read Oil. And I'm just like, Ollie. Where are these shamos? Fine. Oh, well, they're not shamos anyway. Nope. Nope. Aha! Glad I'm not the only one. No, I remember... I remember them saying that happens a lot. That's why I already have the oil can emote. Yep. Just need to get affiliate. You'll make it. New PC will help. Yeah. It's much less stressful for you if you have something like that, I think. It'd be less stressful for me if I had a more up-to-date PC, but I'll get there. Just everything runs smoother and you can do more on it, you know what I mean? You can have more things that people can interact with and... One down, 10 to go. Oh, you cheeky bastard. Yeah, that was dramatic as shit. Completely unnecessary. Hello. Oh, hello. Thank you. Me just being able to stream Mahjong doesn't bring people in. I mean, you could always try and find, I don't know, like, online groups of people that play, and then advertise there that you play it, maybe? It is quite a... I imagine it is quite, like, a small group of people that watch it. I've seen you playing other games. Oh, you were doing Prince of Persia and stuff. That was good. You've done a few retro games. The fact that I can say Prince of Persia's retro really upsets us, I'm not even gonna lie. Makes me feel old. Alright, I need some more of those. Nope. 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 Press the wrong button. Does it not have a... Oh, right there. Okay. Endemic life. Nope. Small monsters. There we go. Kelby. Blah blah blahs. They're all dead. Oh, that one's not. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that was something, but playing those is part of why my PC is slowly dying. Oh, I see. That is fair. Haha! Gotcha! Swing! So now I've just got to wait for them to respawn. Fab. I thought there was more than just this. Ah! See? Knew there was. Ollie does streams. I follow. Ollie does do streams. Thank you for following him too. Very rarely. Yeah, but when you do, they are good. You interact with people. Yes! We did it! Oh, that one's cute too. I love cute emotes. I was gonna say, there's normally something in there. Thunderbug. Is there a flash bug? Thunderbug.
Oh my god! Okay, it's happening!
Ooh.
Everybody
Oh.
stay calm!
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. How were you? How's everything been? I've been lurking, and you're on the laptop. I've been lurking since you went shopping. Did you enjoy your shopping spree? Welcome in, everybody. I am Panda Pop. We are currently on a monster hunter kick.
Sorry.
Ooh. Aww.
He's like, Dad, I feel horrible. I got shots yesterday. He stuck something in my butt and I didn't like it. I had blood drawn.
Aww.
And I've been moping around all day. Been moping around all day. I know. I have been.
Chinese guitar is not so good. Oh. Oh, poor kitty cat.
Yeah, he would let you. He's really good about getting picked up and carried around like a baby and loves the attention.
Hello. How you doing? So yes, sorry. I didn't want to talk over the top of the thing. So, I'm Panda Pop. Currently on a big Monster Hunter kick. So tonight we play Worlds, tomorrow and Saturday, I nearly said Friday. Friday is tomorrow. We play Wilds. Because just, yeah. I would also, if it was that... What on earth did I just miss? Did I say something?
Analysis to me.
But how is everything? How's everybody doing? Is everyone having a good night, good day, whatever time zone you're in? We're having a bit of a chill one tonight. We're just going through all the optionals. Because I need some of the extra stuff that I've missed out because I was terrible and skipped it all. If I was the cat, I would have loved getting picked up. Oh, now I get you. Yeah, I'd love to be a cat. Nobody questions when you just laze about all day and demand things. And get them. Because you're cute. It's just I rarely find the time in doing so. I would like to do it more if I had that time. And poop on the sofa. I can't say I've ever had a cat that pooped on the sofa. I'm quite fortunate in that respect, I suppose. Quite. Sitting on warm grandma's knee and being petted all day long. Exactly, see? All the perks. I wouldn't be too keen on the way that you have to wash yourself, though. Other than that, seems fair. Ow. Well then, new PC and trade high priority things that need to get done for streaming. You can go to work after you stream. I mean, that's true. There's if you've got the energy. I already licked myself for washing. I won't be disgusted. Hey, that's impressive. You must do yoga. Ever had a cat that caught you a squirrel and let it run wild in your living room, and in the process of destroying vases and furniture? No? Good for you. No, I haven't. Where I am, you don't get that many squirrels. I have had a cat bring in a seagull. More than a few birds. Fair amount of spiders. That's nice. Moles. I've had some moles. Couple of rabbits. Which I was impressed. I was like, you're a cat, you meant to get mice. Why is there a seagull and a rabbit in my house? Jesus. I had 2 in that room. The room needed renovation afterwards. Jesus. Sea rats are annoying. They are. They are. Cleaning bits of them up's also annoying. Did not sign up for that. Birdie! Oh, really? You missed the fucking special one? I was aiming right for it. You suck. Jesus. You had 1 job. So disappointed. Right, let's go. I think I've already got one of them birds, but that was a rare one. God damn it. So yeah, I think if I let Griffin out, because Griffin hasn't been an outdoor cat yet, because the area that we live in is not really, like, outdoor cat friendly. But I imagine if he went out, I would get all manner of things brought back. Like, you probably wouldn't even just stop at other animals. I'd probably get people's socks from their washing lines and stuff. Do you mind? Yeah, cheeky bugger. Yeah, don't like that, do you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, have some. I would like to get the scratch off the floor, please. I just slapped that thing in the face with a chainsaw. And do you know what? I'm not even mad. Oh, hello. Never mind, found you. Right, danger lamp acquired. Any idea why I get called? Why I call it a danger lamp? This there. Oh, never mind. I stopped it. It flashes you. And you are momentarily stunned. Oh, this is a low level, so it should not take very long. Excuse me, I was talking. Cheeky bugger. Zero damage run failed. I tell you, I'd never be able to do a 0 damage run. Righty. I think even if this was on, like, friendly and passive mode, if it had a friendly passive mode, I'd still not be able to do a 0 damage run. I would find a way to injure myself, knowing me. Not intentionally. Yeah, you better run! I'm of the teaching profession. Yeah, okay, you won't have a lot of free time at all. No, see? Danger lamp. You leave Pete alone! Ya bitch! Excuse me? Yeah, I like them apples. Siggy, did you end up buying anything? Any new guitar? Or were you just browsing today? I like hunting that F for failed. Don't worry. I like what I do. I got 2. Ooh! Oh, footprint. Yoink. Onward! Hopefully I'll be less busy and I'll be able to see you next stream instead of just having you up in the background. And I'll be able to see your new guitars. Where is it? There it is. The students may not, but in the end, who wants badly trained nurses? That's true. That is very true. Delayed. They're pretty. That phone is China made. Ah. That makes more sense why I said the China made one. That is fair. Higher education, eh? Ooh. Hang on. Got a bone pile and a pearl oyster. Where is it? There it is. Will we make it? Oh, wait, I've got like 30 seconds. In fact, 20 even. Keep him scared to fail, because I don't want to be in a hospital scared though. Flashbug. Oh, yeah. I would have said that was higher education. That class is higher education here. Basically anything once you're at high school classes is higher education here. Or comprehensive, I suppose that's what we call it. I didn't realise you could start there so young where you are though. I don't think you get to start that here until you go to university. I know higher education to be college or university. Yeah, pretty much same. Also, we have a thing called sixth form as well.
Just leave records and analysis to me.
Which is essentially like college, but not college. It's a bit weird. Well, everything past Matura is high education. And you don't need that for you. Oh, okay. It's mad how it works differently in other places, isn't it? Oh, why do I keep doing that? I've run away from the board. I don't need to run away. Sorry, Blanket. I don't need to run away from the board. I need to go to the board. Don't run from the board! Sorry, couldn't help myself. I'm not even sorry. That was a lie. What have I got to do there? Capture. More like profession training skill. Oh. Have we done anything in here yet?
Splendid.
Splendid, he says. Rather pip pip. Feel like I should put my mustache piercing in for that. Excuse-moi. Do, 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 do. Okay, so what's this one? Ah, I know I just loaded it up, but that doesn't mean I remembered what it was. So we want... Nope. Gathering. And I think we'll get it from these. I think. Let me look that one up real quick. Vortex like apprenticeship and that, isn't it? Or am I thinking something different? Yeah. Coming through. Vocational technical school. Oh, okay. Right, is this where we're getting them from, or have I just done the totally wrong thing? Nope, I was right. Get in. Fuck yeah. Next one. Just saves the hassle. Because I went the wrong way. Anyway. It fits. Yeah. Oh, that solved that problem. Excuse me, thank you. No, not gonna get one from there. Next floor up. Yes. I went to one myself, I'm a mechanic. That you would have done, yeah? I sort of went to one when I was training to do tattooing. But that was more just an apprenticeship in somebody's shop. And it didn't work out because they suck. Oh, really? One up, one off? Really? God damn. Hello, Lieutenant Goobs. I like it. Or would you prefer Lieutenant? Depends where you're from, I suppose. Welcome in. I'm here. I'm late. That's fine. I don't mind what time you turn up. I appreciate that you did. How are you? You read. That's fine then. You arrive precisely when you mean to. Don't even think about it. You leave me alone, you flappy bugger. Yeah, you want some? You want some? Yeah. Ah. The thing got in the way. Yeah, you're lucky. I'm a primary paramedic. Raid is raid. Exactly, raid is raid. But how are you? How are you doing? Oh, there you go. We got more food. I figured that was going to be a food thing. I was lurking and walking the doggo. Ooh. Did you both have a good walk? Had to make sure my doggo did not hear that word there. Still flat out on our beanbag bed. We're fine. Beanbag bed. Try saying that when you're drunk. Beanbag bed.
Hello there.
Hello, General Kenobi. These load screens.
One subspecies left to investigate. Just leave records and analysis to me.
They've returned already? Christ, that didn't take long.
Hello, motherfucker.
Hello. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Certain conditions caused me to switch profession for a period of time. Even when understaffed. I mean, to be fair, the conditions of people, well, for people that work in the healthcare sector are shocking in some places. I mean, I was only a carer, so I worked with people that were mentally and physically disabled, and some of the stuff, like the corners that they cut or the way that they generally just treat people that work in care, absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. And I don't know if I hide it well or not, but I am not someone to hold my tongue when being treated like crap. I'm amazed I kept my job as long as I did, in all fairness. I have vanilla cookie dough lattes. Ooh! That sounds nice. I have an issue with a care home near me. Oh. No, not because of that. Personal medical conditions. Ah, that is fair. That's why I left my job as well. I broke my back. Right, post. I'm like waiting for the screen to load. I need to press the buttons for it to do that. What we got next? Capture. Hopefully I won't kill it. I promise nothing. I will do my best not to kill the beastie. Right, we need... Why no wilds? Wilds will be tomorrow and the day after. Because we started this, like, on the run-up to Wilds coming out. And then Wild came out and I hadn't quite finished it. So... just kept going with this one, I suppose. Figured we could do both. Why not? Know what I mean? They dropped my grandma off bed, which caused a brain bleed. Instead of following protocol, she was manhandled, put back in her bed and left there. See, that, yeah. You do hear some horror stories in care work as well. It's... they've got no excuse. If you work in care, you should care. A lot of them don't. A lot of people do it because it's an easy job. They don't even do half the checks that they're meant to do. It's absolutely diabolical in some places. Demanded they were fined. That's fair. That is fair. This one's better. I do prefer this one as well, to be honest. I mean, I like how you can, like, aim your weapon in Wilds. So, you know, when you're swinging your longsword in this... shut up. If the monster... hello.
Well, up to bed now, good night.
Okie dokie, night night. Love you. If the monster moves, it's just a wasted attack. Whereas in Wilds, the aim thing, I do prefer that. But overall, I prefer this game. Do the helicopter with a longsword. Ah, I'm like, what bloody helicopter? What on earth was I grabbing? I've totally blanked. Capture, right. So, want some of these. Some of that. And just to be safe, 2 of them. Yeah. Don't really need anything crafting yet. Ow. Okie dokie. Let's go. I really hope I don't kill it. I may end up killing it. I really hope I don't kill it. Then we'll have to do it again. They were only fired because it was determined as... yeah, oh no. I can believe that. No, well... if I had a different manager, I would have ended up in a lot of trouble. But I have had other staff members pinned to walls because of the way that they have behaved with some people. And the injuries that they could have caused. And I wasn't collared for it because I was in the right, but they weren't collared for it because it would have been too much paperwork. And I was bloody good at my job. So I got away with a lot of shit. Andy! Hello, my darling. How are you? Hang on, hello. Let me get this done. So done with the prep for tomorrow. So now I'm done with work for today. If you may excuse me now, need to get up at 5 a.m. I have no car and therefore I need to use public transport, which is 20 minutes on foot away. Oh, Jesus. And a bit of sleep is needed to survive tomorrow. So have a good one and good hunting. Thank you very much, Ollie. I'm glad you came in. Thank you for the chat. It was good. I hope you sleep well. And I shall see you later. We've got an ad in about 1 minute, just so you know. Pandy, I will do your shout out after the ad because I want everyone to experience your fabulousness. My exact words were, if I see you in the street. Oh, I didn't even say that. I literally flung the motherfucker on a wall. I said words. Words were said. Apparently marks were left, but I don't believe that. I was careful. I was careful. Sure. Oh, she wants a treat. Okay, during this ad, I'm going to quickly be right back screen. I really shouldn't do this during a thing, but I'm gonna quickly be right back screen and go and get the dog a treat. Otherwise, she's gonna continuously sit there and whinge at us. Ooh, what's this one? What's this one? Mustard. Oh, ooh. That, no, you don't do that with mustard. Gosh golly. Oh, look at the doggos. Adorable. Hello, Zelda. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I'll be right back. I need to go give the dog a treat. So, I'll be back. Right, doggo, tret. But hi, Zelda, how are you? Where'd I put the controller? There'd I put the controller. Okay, so, as we were. Ads are on. Okie dokie. Fluff bat, fluff bat, fluff bat. Where's the fluff bat? Need to find more on the fluff bat, of course I do. I'm sure it's normally this way. Nope, I was wrong. Coming through. Oh, I didn't eat. Stupid. Da 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 dee dee dee. Whee! I legitimately thought they weren't going to grab that. Not going to lie. Slight panic. Oh. Fluff bat. Target acquired. Get down. Right, don't kill it. Don't kill it may prove easier said than done. Ooh! Oh, that got me as well. Bollocks. Welcome back from the ads, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate you. Alright, watching for a I'm dying symbol. Because we have to do... Will you stop? Made me drop my croissant. Whoop. Hello, how are you? Welcome in. How is it going? Apologies if it takes us a minute to notice anything that someone types. I am trying to make sure I don't kill this thing. Oh, there we go. We got a limb. But we don't have a skull. How are you? Is it Aurum? That's how I would have said it. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly though. If I'm not, I apologise. Okay, so Fluffbat. No kill Fluffbat. Fluffbat. No. Oh. I have a question. Would you say it's worth getting Monster Hunter World with the DLC and all the extra emotes and stuff? If you can buy it as I would get Monster Hunter with the Iceborne DLC. Because I just think it's worth it overall. As for all the emotes and stuff, if it comes as part of the deal with the added DLC, then yeah, by all means. Otherwise, I don't... It depends if you use them enough. I would definitely recommend Iceborne with the base game of Monster Hunter, though. Personally. Right. Have you played any of the Monster Hunter games before? I'm gonna start for the first time. Ooh, nice.
Keep hitting up the train bombs until
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. So yeah, I was wondering if the DLC stuff was worth it. I mean, personally, I would say yes. Because I think the DLC stuff is great. If you're not sure, if it's not that much of like a price difference, maybe just start off with the base game and see if you like it. I don't know what you're going to be like. Are you going to be playing console or PC? Because if I remember correctly, someone said that on the Xbox Game Pass, Rise is currently free to play. I don't know if it's free to play on the PlayStation. I'd have to look into that. Because Rise is a good game to start on to see if you just like the feel of the game in general before you spend any money. PC. I'm not sure if it's free on Steam or anything. I would have to look that up. You'd think if they were doing it as part of a Game Pass on other consoles or platforms or that, they'd let you have it, but you know what this is like. Because Rise is very similar in the game style to World. So if it was a free option, it would have just made sense. Let's have
One
a look.
subspecies
Ecological
left to investigate.
has
Just
new
leave records
results.
and analysis to me.
Does it?
Oh, quite the conundrum.
We have a few people in the community that play it on PC as well, though. So if you did get into it and you ever needed any help, we have a few people that would be able to be of assistance. Oh, it has things about Leshen and everything. What? Unknown. We still have an unknown monster. Oh, we have more than one unknown monster. Oh. Robert. You got enough stuff yet? Not really. But you need some of that. So, have at it. Right, more optional. Here's one we caught earlier. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I've got an itchy nose. Oh no. Oh.
Good to see you.
Oh, he wants an angry Clifford. Okay. Man's best friend, my ass. Jesus. It's called Angry Clifford for a reason. Right, what's our next one? Oh. Slay a bunch of bugs. I know, right? I know. I make this so exciting for you. Hi, Harold. How are you? How are you doing? Oh, excuse me. Because the keyboard's so heavy.
Me, who have no real connection with this person other than fandom, what is it about us that means that we need to protect them, right? So that's what I have an issue with.
Monsters get hunted. Yeah.
A tangent within a tangent within a tangent. Harold is never finishing this game. That's a good call, Camelon.
Mm-hmm.
Someone, I gotta like.
Mm-hmm. I hope everything went well for you. We're currently just going through the optionals that go with this game because I suppose I kind of speed run it the first time round. Well, I say the first time round for our first playthrough. So there's a few little things on the side like different mantles, more cultivation slots, things like that I've missed, gems, and they'd kind of be beneficial as we go on. So I was like, we'll just have a chill night and we'll do that. Why the hell not? You've been quiet.
Somebody wants to take my my scroll.
Oh, I really want to play Baldur's Gate now.
Alright. Did you guys kill the skeleton?
Oh, stop
It was a
it.
short rest before I was even revived.
Right, on it top.
You guys killed the skeletons already?
Right before reviving me.
I was looking for.
I was.
No. There we go. Billy Elliot! Whoop! The way that twitch, man. Oh, you don't have to be sorry. Are you okay? Can you stop it? Ooh. Sneaky bugger. You can still be a big boy and not be okay. God damn. Whee! Oh, killed it. Nice. Nice. You're very welcome, my dear. I did say I was going to give you the shouty and then I totally forgot because I'm good like that. Everyone gets the shouties. I'm going to get jumped by a bug. Tell you. Anyone else? No? Okay. Oh, there's one. Panda remembering everything since. Yeah. Panda showing signs of Alzheimer's since 1990. Hello, Anomaly. How are you? And how is Spiral? I can hear it. Oh, there it is. Yeah! Take that. Oh, that one was tougher. Ooh. Oh, come on. I need one more. I'd be doing a little darling. Spyro is a little darling, I know. See what I did there? Oh no, we gotta wait a whole minute? Oh my goodness. A little better. Good, I'm glad you're doing better. Right, what we got? Herbs. Yeet. Excuse me, coming through. Thank you. Mine. Wee. Giggity. See, Panda gets it.
Shut the fuck up. You were getting just as horny over Baldur's Gate as I was.
Me?
From movie sets.
You can prove nothing.
Settings.
You're not wrong though.
Oh, that, yeah. That's monetization.
Doing well, just ready to chill and
Oh,
enjoy
shut the
some
fuck up.
insanity on it. That isn't my own. Fair. Fair. I felt that. Preach, see? We can all feel that one, yeah. You are welcome. What's Evoland?
One subspecies left to investigate. Just leave records and analysis to me.
I will. Oh. Let's go hunt us some poison lizards. Because that's essentially what they are. Thank you for the shouty. I'm grateful for the love, and I'm grateful for all of you. You are welcome. Right, so... Oh, this paralyzes. Not going to capture it. I'm going to kill it. I can go up there. That's probably beneficial. Let's go! Subspecies. Seems... Is that what it said? Did it say subspecies? Ah. Random itch on my 10 head. Not a forehead. 10 head. How's your stream going? Right, we need to eat. The food always looks really good on this and makes us hungry, so forgive me, I have to skip it. Because I will end up wanting more food, and I will end up being hungry. When the hell did I drop 47 frames? I just saw that. Or me. Right, we're gonna grab some of this. Gonna load that. Gonna get that ready. And then tally ho, motherfucker. Oh. Not what we're looking for, but hello. Right. So what's happening about? Nothing much, me dear, nothing much. Had the cat at the vet. She's still with us, which is good. I was very concerned, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, need to get that. Other than that, same old. How's everything with you, my dear? How is Mrs. Zelda? She should be. She's on some steroids. Oh, I've got an itchy face. Excuse me. She's on some steroids because she's been sneezing for the last couple of days, which I didn't really think much of because it was just the occasional, like, couple of sneezes here and there. Apparently I forgot to breathe there, sorry. But yeah, and this morning she woke up and it sounded like something was stuck in her nose and she couldn't get it out. And I couldn't immediately say anything, and I'm not exactly going to try and, like, you know, stick something up my cat's nose to see if there's anything there because I don't want to hurt the cat. So we had to go to the vet. And the vet can't tell whether it is some kind of respiratory infection or blockage because she's not really showing signs of an infection. But our lungs don't sound 100%, but she can't tell if it's from something like in the nasal passage or if it's the lung itself. So we now have pills. Thankfully it only cost us like £58, so could be worse. And out of protest she peed all over the bag. Because I don't use a plastic cat carrier because they kick off. I use one of them backpack things, but I have to put it on my front. So she peed in that on the way back. Joke's on her though, because I put puppy pads in the bottom of it to make sure I don't have any accidents. And then she really, really liked us when I gave her a bath when she got back. Self-inflicted. Yeah, fingers crossed. She's got to be on the steroids for 7 days. And I've got to take her back in 5. So... fingers crossed. She's a tough cookie, mind. She's like... you know them old women that live to about 150 and they have been through everything. Nothing phases them. Like, if you put them on the front line of a battlefield, people would run away. She's like that. She is a battle axe. She's a yeah, Jesus. Like Genghis Khan with fur. Getting the kiddo from school, be right back. No problem, be safe. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, lizard. I'm past it. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm sure nobody's surprised at that. Just resubbed, and if anybody else hasn't done so, I think you should. Nobody wants those ads during pivotal part of the game. Thank you very much, I appreciate the resub. Thank you. I don't need no dog, Ron. Need a lizard. Well, there's one. It's not the lizard I want though. These aren't the lizards we're looking for. Haha! Swing, swing, swing! You're really like, shut the fuck up, Zelda, you cringy fuck. I'd never tell you to shut the fuck up. Not over that. Anyway. I'm like, I often tell people that, so that was probably a bit of a fib. Sorry for the swearing too. I don't know what that's about. I mean, you're in this channel. I feel like, you know, swearing's just part of being in this channel. You know? Hello, dear. Pocket fur to you too. Fucking spit on that thing. Missed. Going full Billy Elliot. Oh yeah. Granted, that sounded more like Duff Man on helium. You slaying, you betcha. Slay. Nope. Ooh, bitch. Oh. Careful, dear. Thank you, Pete. Fucking body slam this. You big nasty. That happened. So. To be fair, these are very early level. So, it's understandable. Just wait until we get the high level and I forget that I'm not actually absolutely boss at this game. And we just get slapped. It will happen. Oh, parachute! Footprint. I'm sure there's another parachute! How far can we get? Up! Footprint! Oh, okay, we're going up here now. So does anybody have anything planned with their weekend? Inquiring minds wish to know. Oh, we leveled up the Plunder Blade. Pete is nearly level 18. Well done, Pete. Oh, we increased our tail raider thing as well. Nice. Do, 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 do. Oh, for anyone in chat that was inquiring about Wilds, Mr. Maxwell is currently playing Wilds. Just so you know.
Left to investigate. Just
and just in case anyone would like to go and have a look, there you go. I've got them tabbed up, so. Right, so we did that one, so what's next?
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Ow!
He is not happy.
Wow!
That went well, by the sounds of it. Right. This one's gonna be a boring one. Try and make it as quick as I can. Wow, 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 wow. Do you mean the clip? I always find that quite funny. Okay, we don't need those. Will I need it? No, I shouldn't need a nullberry. Should be fine. Don't need that. Or that. That needs to move, because that's not where that lives. Little red panda kills me. It is quite adorable, isn't it? Let's have a look. Should I change equipment, do you think? No, just keep what I've got on. Straightforward, does the trick. Okay, depart. Let's go. Christ, this person eats a lot.
Nice.
And yet still looks fabulous. Minus the shoes, but we don't need to talk about the shoes. So what are you up to for the weekend? I think my weekend mainly consists of just hanging out with you lovely people. And giving a cat tablets, so potentially when I come online tomorrow I may have like a fetching scar. Because I've been mauled. Weekend? This is my weekend. I work what you call weekend. Ah, that is fair. How is your weekend going then? I know today's been good. I hope the rest of your weekend has been good. What am I going for? Raffinose. Why was that so difficult to say? Small monsters. Hornitar, no. Hornitar, no. Vespoid, Vespoid. Next one down. Raffinose. Ooh, Slashberry. Yeah, my weekend's going to be spent the best way with you guys. It's been good. Good, I am glad. Whoa. You're not what I'm hunting. I'll whoop your ass, though. Yeah. And have some of that. Yeah. Ah, you what I want. You right there. Ooh, oh, that was lucky because I wasn't aiming then. Haha, planted. Any more of these raffinos? Nope, just a pile of bodies. Oh yeah. That was a very well-timed meow. Well done. Oh! Oh, that one's my friend. Don't kill that one. Okay, fine. Right, raffinos. Raffinos. Hello, little cat. No. Ah, there's some more. Yeet. Ooh, Bomberry. Right. Bring it here and we'll try to capture it. There. I'll not do that, but fair. Oh, need this. Nitro shroom. Scoot ya. Oh. X. I nearly jumped. Hello, Sirius. How are you? How you doing? How many things were there to pick off that fruit? Damn. Right, and now we go boop. Goodbye. No, no, hit the fucking target. Hello, I'm good, thank you very. I am not too bad, thank you very much. Plodding on. We're having a nice chill night. We're just doing optionals. We're not doing like the main go after the fluff bat thing because I want to try and get some of the stuff that we're missing. Come on, come on. Just all you gotta do is there we go. Good fly thing. Right. So we're just gonna chill out here and slowly suffocate. 50 seconds.
Yeah, I got my fortified frost knob. Or do you want my lucky knob? My wooden knob.
Well, I don't know if it's advised that you offer things out so freely on the internet.
Got time to chat?
There used to be a Nornir chest down here.
The new Snow White. No, I don't think I'm gonna, to be honest. I'm not a fan of the woman that's in it.
If anybody ever clips that.
If anybody ever clips that, you should have known. You should have known. You mean Snow Not So White? There's that too. But that doesn't really bother us massively. It's the lass in it. I'm not a fan. And the way she handled it the first time round when they were doing the press tour for it and stuff, and everything she kept talking about was, I should have been paid more because I was in this, and oh, the story's just blah 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 blah. And she was just a bit of a dick, really. So yeah. She's in a privileged position. Yes, she may have worked her ass off to get there, but she's in a privileged position and she pissed all over it, and I do not think that's a good thing to do. Your missus is driving us mad to go and see it. I can understand why. It is, like, you know, all the other live actions have been reasonable. I did like the Beauty and the Beast live action, not gonna lie. I didn't bother going to see the Little Mermaid one. Because, nah. I'll give it 20 minutes and then sleep if it's bad. Exactly. Forgot to turn the game back up. Mufasa was a banger though. Was it? Little Mermaid was so bad. It looked crap,
You're
to be honest.
just the awesomest.
I know. I was debating Mufasa one because I didn't rate the live action Lion King. I was really disappointed by it actually. Why would I see Snow White when I can see a red panda? Fair, actually, fair. I'd rather see a red panda. I never watched the Cinderella one they made either. I did love Beauty and the Beast one though, but Beauty and the Beast was my favourite Disney film growing up. So, like, I had to watch that one to make sure they did good, and I liked it. It's good, yeah. It's good. Haha! Finally, we have the second fucking cultivating slot. Yes. Right, what do we need? Sleep herb. I point blank, that was with Hermione. Yeah, it was the last that played Hermione, yeah. Refuse to see any live action remakes. For the most part, I do agree, because everyone, honestly, most of the ones I've seen, I haven't liked at all. Apart from Beauty and the Beast, I am not looking forward to the live action of Stitch. I am terrified of what they're gonna do. Like, technically, Mufasa's a new story. True. I'd still give it a chance. But oh, so that halves the time needed on the mushroom. That gives us more mushroom, that gives us more sleep herbs. I'll fertilise with this one first, go away, come back and fertilise with the other one. Bet. The other Lion King, yeah. I had high hopes for it as well.
You all good?
Oh. Okay. You don't want much like, do you? Damn. So what's our next one then? Hunt a fluff bat and then hunt 2 danger lambs. Got it. God, between you and Zelda, I don't need to advertise myself. Okay. Can we eat? Of course we can. This gal can put it away.
Nice.
I don't mean that. No, shut up. Right. What do we get? Ooh, flash pots too. Nice. Trying to think of what other remakes they did. Like, I can't remember the last time an original bloody movie was out, you know. New season of Last of Us on Monday. Oh, I still need to watch first season. It's in me to-do list. I never sit down and watch TV long enough, to be honest. I have heard that they've already gave it the green light for season 3 though. Do you ever play the games? I've played the first one. I've got the second one. I played all of like 20 minutes. And I was just like, But I wasn't in the mood for it. You know what I mean? Alrighty, you too. You know what? Fuck you. I loved the first one. Definitely in my like top 10 games. South Park in July. What, a new season? How many bloody seasons has that thing got now? Jesus. Whoop. Excuse you. I think it's 27. Fucking hell. 27. I think I've got cat hair on me flipping lip. Second Last of Us kinda had people divided in opinion. Yeah, I know, I heard. Like, for the most part, the majority of people I know did really enjoy it. But I've heard my fair share of like, this could have been better, or the certain like love or hate for certain characters and all that jazz. I'm still gonna play it eventually. I was debating playing it on stream, to be honest. You really, really do. Well, if it's got your seal of approval, dear, I will definitely give it a go. Sorts of fluff bat. Nothing personal. I've got it on PlayStation 5 remastered. I don't think I've got remastered. I think the second one I've got's on PlayStation 5. And I'm pretty sure they did a free upgrade for the PlayStation 4 one. Could be wrong. It's not remastered though, the ones that I've got. Why did they make you wait so long? Pull the lever. I mean, that'd do it. That would do it. You gonna let me have this? May I? Nope. Rude. I've only just noticed the squirty bottles. What'd I do for that? Don't think I'll ever play it, but had to buy it. 'Cause it's a banger. Why don't you think you'll ever play it? Woo! Excuse me. Sorry. You said you can put it away. I meant the food. Just never play a game twice, really. Oh, I don't have that problem. Amount of times I've played The Witcher. Woo! I mean, technically, the amount of times I've played this. Do, do. Leave your ear alone, please. I can see you. Motherfucker. Camera types. Oh, hang on. Need to change how I'm sitting.
One subspecies left to investigate. Just leave records and analysis to me.
Okay, okay. Argosy's returned. Again. Christ.
You know something else.
Ooh. Yeah. 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 Sarah. Excuse me? Don't just look down at my character with that tone. God damn. Rude. What's next? Oh, it's 2 danger lamps, wasn't it? Let's do it. I like how it's like, you can only have one player. With this, it's like, bitch, I have had one player all the way through. So I've died so much. Oh, have we managed to get any Poogie outfits? No. Oh. We can change the colour of it, though. Should we make the Poogie green? It's not very green. Bit better. Oh wow, you can make it fucking green. Jesus. Bet. I think it looks cute. Right. Let's go. I need to remember after stream to change the ad manager so it tells us a couple of minutes before and not just 60 seconds before. Where the fuck did you come from? Hello? Eat food. Eat food. I'll try and remind you. Thanks. Chances are we'll both forget though. Right, danger lamps. Danger lamp. Kind of showing my age away a bit there. Oh, danger lamp. Hi. Excuse me. Sir. Thank you so much. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? If you just sang. Oh dear. You missed. Thank you. Ooh, that was it. That looked a bit nasty. Not gonna lie. Well done. Excuse me. I think you're going. Can I hit it? Nope. Oh, yeah! Nice. Damn. One down. Oh! How convenient. Oh, shit. Take that. Off to bed. Have a great evening. Thank you, Zelda, for popping in. I hope you sleep well. Ooh. Look, I know it was probably your friend. Okay. I'm very sad, too. Ooh. Hope the cat feels better. Thank you, my dear. I will keep you all informed. I'm sure she'll be fine though. Honestly, I think that cat's gonna outlive me. Pirouetted past you, didn't I, bitch? Boom, boom. Rude. You get back here. You'd think I'm following behind it, I'd find footprints. No? Meow. Oh. Meow, a bit too hard there. Oh, yeah. I just realised I didn't carve that other one. Fuck. Oh well. It's low level. It'll be fine. Oops. Mistakes were made. Is the sound crackling for you guys, or is it just me? Because it's saying I'm not dropping any more, like any frames or anything. But every now and then, it just sounds like it's about to. A little every now and then, I thought. Like right there. What the fuck? What the fuck are you? I think Windows has just been trying to update. No tell. I'm busy, bitch. God damn. Oh god, that is feckin' bright. It's good for me. Oh, good. As long as it's not irritating anybody. Or it's not as noticeable or anything like that. Fucking hell, can we get off that screen? I'm gonna go blind. Ugh. Jeez. Right. Ooh, I nearly dropped my controller. Ooh. Oh, that's why that thing was there. That makes so much more sense. That's what we see watching you. I know. But yous are somewhat prepared. And I'm only ickle in the corner. We've made friends. Received the gadget of own. Okay. So what, I've got to travel back myself? That's just rude. You can catch them, you know. Hang on. Do you know how much sunscreen it takes to stay this white? I'm like pearlescent. I don't use it to stay this pale. I have no choice. The fridge light can give me suntan. Well, burn. I don't tan. Oh no, I missed! Because that gigantic creature goes in that tiny, tiny little net. The whole of the island boots. I wouldn't go to Boots, they're too expensive. Jesus. Squirty bottle emote yourself. You naughty naughty. I don't like it. But you get points of it. But I don't like it. Okay. Should we leave? We should get some other layered armors through doing some of these optionals as well. Like one of them is a wiggler head. And the wiggler is the wormy wiggly thing that sticks about the ground. It's kind of self-explanatory, I suppose. You can get a palico head, which I love. Love going around with that. I know in Iceborne you can get one of the little fluff monkey things. You can get loads of different outfits for the piggy.
Analysis to me.
So what's our next one? Because we're now at the 5 stars. Oh, Hunt a Rathlos and a Rathian. Oh, that's going to be fun. Deliver 2 lumps of meat. That's probably going to be a pain in the arse. And... well, let's go. I don't know why I'm stammering so much. Is that one? Yes. Yes. Do 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 do. Try not to sit like a prawn. It's not good for you. I don't need that. No, 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 no. Do need that. Don't need that. Do need that. Do need that. Probably don't need that. I'm gonna take some of them. Ads in 1 minute. Thank you. I appreciate you. Chopsticks a bit tight. There you go. Okay, so eat. What does it give us? Oh, it also gives us stone pots. Take some of them and let us be off. Ads are starting, just so you know. Right. Worst case scenario, you'll miss me die. But we're used to seeing that, so. Oh, look! Friend. Right, I want to equip that. And I want to get that ready for use. Now. Oh, God! No. Oh dear. Excuse me? Really? Uh-oh. Move, move, move. Bye! See you later! Not saying it, not saying it, not saying it, I'm not saying it. Nope. Whee! Yeah! Come on, chop tail, focus up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Go on, go on, go on. Yeah, bitch. Fucking 8. Ta-ra. Oh, there's its friend. Shut up. I can see you over there. You fucking stay there. Oh, so much for staying there. Now you listen here, motherfucker. Don't you go away too. God damn it. Alright, where's these footprints? Oh, right there. I knew that. Okay, so. That's not the one I want though. That's the one I want. I'm going that way. Excuse the fuck out of me. What's that? Take the fuck not. Oh, god damn it. Welcome back from the ads, anyone that had them. Thank you for sticking around. I appreciate you. Sorry, I got an itchy eyeball. Where we're going? We're going this way. turn right. Come on. So I couldn't do all this running like, Oh my goodness. Go on, spider monkey. Ooh. Goodies. Oh, don't fly away. I've just got here. Run, bitch. Run. Right. We made it. Hello. One down. Don't forget to carve this one. Alright, now to find its little friend. Where's its fucking little friend? Over there. Oh, wait. Behind the waterfall thing. Kind of pretty, isn't it? Right, off we go. Oh. Which way? Oh. I knew that. Do 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 dee da 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 ba ba bum. Oh, bloody hell, we're going. Oh. Oh. Cooey! Oh, you little fucker. Just as I land. That's just rude. That could have been epic. Excuse me. Now where? That way. Oink. Yeah, I'm just gonna go up this way. Let's just skip the big angry T-Rex if you divney mind. Yeah. Not my circus, not my monkey. Ah. Hello. How are you doing? On your head. Excuse me. Rude. Unfortunate. Yeah! Boop the slip. I almost feel bad for them. Like, I know the game's gonna get revenge on us when we get into a few more of these high level ones, but for the minute, I kind of almost feel bad. I don't feel too bad when it does this back and forth malarkey, like, because that just winds us up. I did feel bad, I take it back. Oh, not what I meant to do. I should not have been able to still do that. Oh, sorry. There we go. Right, now where'd the tail go? Please don't say it's on top of it. It is. It is. Okay. Oh well. It's not gonna let us get the tail, is it? No, it is not. Fine. Don't want it anyway. I don't know what we'll get for this one. Because normally if it's a double whammy, you get something quite good, don't you? I think. Oh, we've got a commendation. And a bunch of shit. Palico level up. Good. Ouch. I don't know if you heard that, but this water bottle's very noisy.
One subspecies left to investigate. Just leave records and analysis to me.
Yes, 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 I know. Alright, next we have... Capture. I know dog around. Okay. See how this goes. Ouch. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. We'll keep that. Don't need that. It's always good to have. Right. What I do need is some of that. Some of that. It's a capture, isn't it? So one of them, two of them, two, some of them. Don't have any bombs at all. Oh, never mind. Okay. So we should be ready to do a capture. Not what I wanted to do. I've got an itchy head just under the headphone. Okay. It's very pain when that happens, isn't it? Right under the fucking thing of the headphone. Get a snack.
Nice.
Oh. Why don't I leave him behind? Don't be stupid. What, you still have something to say? I learned to call for a new species. Nice. So if we go past one of them, there's a good chance that the Palico can befriend it. Oh, did I not bring any ammo? I didn't bring any flash pods. Well, that's a bit silly. Okie dokie, Angry Clifford. Meow. Nope, not what I wanted. Thank you. Angry Clifford. Oh, there's another. There we go. There he is. Puppy. Bugger. I don't know what jumps about more, this thing on me. Motherfucker. Whoopa. Oh, deserve that. Yep. You deserve that too, though. Right, don't kill it, don't kill it, don't kill it. Well, I rolled into that one, so that wasn't exactly the smartest move. Or that. Come on. Not the time to be dazed, dear. Not the time. Thank you. Right, I've got to have a flyway here or something because the side of my face is getting itchy and I don't like it. Alright, what we got here? Ooh. Up. Shroom. Out. Come on. Hurry up. Thank you. Ain't nobody got time for that. Straight off with the tail. Nice. Go. Ooh, don't kill it, don't kill it, don't kill it. Ooh, Betty. Oh, fuck. Come on. Yeah, puppy, 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 puppy. That's not a puppy, but I'm gonna call it a puppy. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Ooh. That's unnecessary. Motherfucker. Right. So. Get the tail. Okay, and then... Excuse you. It just burped on us. That was rude. Absolutely no need. You know the mission that says get 2 chunks of meat? You get it from an ear. Thankfully, there is a... Oh, how far away is that? Okay. There is a camp quite close.
Keep hitting them with train bombs until the...
I know. So I'm probably going to make this the last one, actually, because we're on 2 hours and 52. And my back is starting to protest at being in this seat. Okay. So, we'll go back, we'll save, and then we're gonna raid. I think we'll raid Mr. Maxwell. Ow. Because it's been a while, and he is on Wilds, so it's keeping in with the Monster Hunter thing. And Wilds is good. I hope everybody's had a fun night. I've had a fun night. Yeah! Red panda twerky booty. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, I haven't had a fun night having an itchy nose though. Oh go on, we'll give him one more
subspecies
pet.
left to investigate. Just leave records and analysis to me.
Good, Peggy. Actually, should we go quickly collect something? They're just a baby. Do, 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 do. That's on the outfits. No, put it down. Ready? Ready? Isn't that so cute? I love it. I'm gonna change its colours. Should it be black with green or green with black? What do you think? I feel like it should be black with green. I don't know. Yeah, black with green I think would look better. So to the way around. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. Okay. So. Let's save. Do. And... Oh my goodness, my back is not happy we're in this chair at all. Swap over. So seeing as we know who we're raiding, I'll just put the messages up straight away. Don't worry, I'm going to copy and paste that one so it actually shows up as the characters and not just the writing. Do. So, everybody, thank you for being here with me this evening. I hope you've enjoyed our nice little chill session of collecting stuff. We will be back tomorrow with Wilds. I don't know if I'll be playing it by myself or if I'll be playing it with other people. We will decide as we go. Obviously, anyone even is welcome to join tomorrow. I'll have all the little numbers and whatever that you need up if you do fancy joining us. And until then, I hope everybody has a fabulous night. Thank you, Guy, for the raid. I appreciate you greatly. And thank you for everybody else that popped in. I appreciate you too. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm not going to make you wait about for too long. Because I can't load up Spotify. So I don't want you sitting in silence. I haven't even started the raid. I knew that. I was testing you. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Start raid. So, spiel. Thank you. Spiel. I do appreciate you greatly, though. And I will hopefully see you lovely buggers tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful evening. Have a great sleep. I'll chat to you soon. Bye.